Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and you're tuned in to Madden 18 on EA Sports. In today's game, we should look to the war up front. The Dolphins are top 10 in rushing yards, going up against the Seahawks front seven that will need to be up to the test. So, with the call of this Week 16 matchup, let's hand it over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you very much, Larry. EA Sports coverage of the NFL. The National Football League is here and on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Seattle Seahawks and the Miami Dolphins. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. They go play action here on first down. And right side, Henry's got it. And he is level. Knocked down hard. And that one results in 35 yards.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
Throwing on first down, Morrow. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll make it a second down. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. The first carry for DeAndre Washington. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense, because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
And he'll at least get them inside the red zone here, down to about the 19. 9 yards still remaining here to pick up the first on second down. On second down, Washington. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, got to make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Off the bootleg. Morrow. Miller on the catch over the middle. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's first and goal. Big completion there on third and short keeps their opening drive alive.
Not only alive, but plenty of possibilities now. First and goal, and you know me, I'm a big advocate. If you're going to throw the ball, throw it early in the down and distance count.
The numbers for Washington in last week's contest, 21 carries, 78 yards.
After the last game, they have plenty of reason to be confident in their running game. And even though they're facing a top 10 defense, they're not going to shy away from doing what they do best. Make them adjust to them. Make them stop what they do before they go to any type of a changeup.
Call it a gain of 2 as they're knocking on the door now. Third and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on third, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that second down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to...
And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. A week ago, they dominated in the trenches. They got in the backfield for 5 sacks. Setting the tone there, one on the opening drive.
And it sets the tone for the opposing team, doesn't it? Remember when you were a kid and you went to the theater and saw that horror movie that stuck with you for a while and you were a little bit jumpy? Well, if you saw 5 sacks the previous week and you're the quarterback, He might be a little jumpy as well. Might throw off his timing.
Yeah, it'd be jumpy, but sorry, Bob and Linda wouldn't let me see a PG movie until I was 17.
Well, that's just good parenting.
So they come into enemy territory. Nice drive to start the game, but they probably wanted 6. They only got 3.
I agree with you totally. That's the expectation. When you get the ball and you start moving it and you're rolling, you think you're going to end up in the end zone. But they should be happy with the 3. A good way to get things going here in this game.
Now a play fake here on first down. And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete. So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store. Off the bootleg. Bender. And that is incomplete. The intended receiver was Jakeem Grant. And that'll make it third down. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. On third down, Bender. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
This defense not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And, oh, he is really laid out that time. Knocked flat on his back, right at the line of scrimmage. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early, but there's that special one there. I say they go get him. Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Decent chunk of yardage still left here. 2nd and 7. Staying on the ground with Washington. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. It'll go as a gain of 7 on the play, and it sets up a 3rd and inches situation. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and are controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there and swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them. But on that play, the defensive tackle had the leverage, and he won the battle. No gain, correct?
No gain. Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
Good luck trying to get your running game going against Ndamukong Suh. I mean, he is so strong. Just trying to move him, take one guy, 2 guys, whatever. I wish you a whole lot of luck. He usually converts an offensive running game into rubble.
Well, that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And it'll be Dolphin football. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. Still a lot to be determined in terms of their final seeding. We do know they'll be in the playoffs, but in what, for sports cliche, they just take them one game at a time, right?
And they have to. And look, the thing about cliches, they've been proven over time. All right, we know that. So, yes, take it one game at a time, but make sure that there's no let-up, no getting off the gas, right? No mental letdowns, because each one is important for them to accomplish their goals.
On first down, Bender. Brought in over the middle by Grant. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A big play there with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Dolphins are going to take a first-quarter lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage if you do that.
And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
And he'll take this one up over the 20 to the 21-yard line. Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, Brandon Gault. The Seahawks on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Operating from the gun, Morrow. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And the Dolphins will begin this drive in great field position. 1st and 10. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And they had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try to cut down the length of the drive.
18 big yards on that one, and a Miami first. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
A good pickup there at 22.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Keith Marshall taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Dolphins add on to their lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? On 1st and 10, Morrow. On the right side, this is Miller. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
From the gun on 3rd down, Morrow. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to have a 1st down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
They run the counter now on 1st down. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
And he coughed it up, and the Dolphins have got it.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. And the Dolphins getting set to go here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And here's Marshall. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep your defense honest.
You mean, or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
They stay on the ground. This is Marshall again. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays, too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. The gun, Bender. And he gets it to Funchess complete. He's at the 30, 10, and all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Devin Funches hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. Now, I'm not going to say you completely abandon the passing game, but it would really behoove them to get this running game going more.
That's the identity most teams are seeking. Able to establish themselves, control the game by running it, have to touch it multiple times in order to have success in this game.
And as we say, yeah, that's right. As we say all the time, that sets up the passing game. I feel like a broken record with that.
Listen, we can be broken records all we want. Bottom line is, lather up that big horse and let him run.
Here we go now. 3, 19.
Throwing on first down. Morrow. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Set. Green, 39.
To throw on 3rd down. Morrow. And the 3rd down pass falls incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
Caught left side by Funches. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a first down. On first down, Bender. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. 7 yards on the play, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Here we go now. No. Check. Patriot. Gun.
Off the play fake. Bender. Looking left side, and he's got him in. That's Grant. And he is down deep into Seattle territory. A gain of 39 that time.
All right, here we go.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And I'm wondering if maybe they don't go away from him on this drive a little bit. He's been great, but they haven't scored a lot of points.
I think they still have to show him as a threat. Make sure he touches it a few times. But as you pointed out, use him as a decoy a little bit and get the ball in the hands of some other people in order to put more points on the board. But he's done a really nice job of establishing them with his running.
Yeah, he's established himself well. Now can they put more points up? This complete to Henry over the middle. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Looking to throw on second down. Morrow. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play, as we'll get a timeout, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. The Seahawks on third down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is third down and 12.
Green 39! Green 39!
A handoff for Washington. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. The Seahawks send out their punter. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. So a change of possession here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So now here come the Dolphins. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
Hurry up, here we go.
And he motions the wide receiver. On 1st and 10, Bender going for the deep ball. It got his man complete. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A great play there as the first half is winding down. And the Dolphins just continue to pour it on. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy, who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. They go with Washington to begin the drive. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA. Happy holidays, Larry. Your gift? Take the halftime show off, partner. We've got some football to get to. This is taken at the 3. He spins free. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. So the Dolphins offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the AFC. For the moment, they're on top of their division, projected to host a wild card game in the first weekend, but nothing is set in stone. There's a lot of shuffling that can still go on here. They haven't even clinched a playoff berth.
A lot goes into that one word you use, doesn't it? But. You're exactly right, because nothing's clinched. So that means another win is necessary, being able to play to the best of their abilities, because they can go from where they are right now to right out of the playoff race. If things go in the wrong direction for them, they've got to take care of business.
Watch it now, Marty. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky
bootleg. Bender. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. Well, this D, particularly the secondary, has been picked apart at points here tonight. They finally, though, get to the quarterback, get a pick.
And we know this about him. He loves night games, loves the spotlight, loves being the center of attention. I will bet you that he ran off the field almost chuckling to himself. They finally got one. They finally got me.
Only a yard on the completion. It's 2nd and goal. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
To throw on 2nd down. Morrow. His pass caught at the 4. And a big tackle there as the defender runs right through him at the 3-yard line. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
Trying to pound it in with Washington. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. DeAndre Washington, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Seahawks capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Able to punch it in on 3rd down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
And out come the Dolphins now. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. A gain of 32 that time.
Usually hitting a deep post pattern, as we just saw there, for a big gainer, that's tough to do because you usually have a safety or two in the middle of the field. But if you hit enough crossers and underneath routes and curls, start to get those guys creeping up.
Looking for Funchess, but it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowl safety Cam Chancellor. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the 3rd quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break, taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
Looking to throw. Morrow. And that'll be incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
Well, he didn't make headway on that one, but he's had plenty of carries all night long. I just wonder if maybe he's a little bit tired from toting the rock that much.
On 3rd down, Morrow. Looking deep downfield. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th. Well, they haven't had a whole lot of success in the passing game here. Now in the 2nd half, he's thinking, I guess maybe just take a shot deep.
I think you're right. Almost looking for a bailout, isn't he? Can my receiver go up and make a big play for me? Can I create a penalty downfield, maybe pick up an interference call and get that yardage downfield? Anything trying to get going again, but you're right. He definitely took a shot.
Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put the fighting to get back to the goal line. I don't think he got there. He did not get back there. It's a safety. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt. And if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
To throw again. Morrow. Quick hitter here. It's complete. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
From the gun on 3rd down. Morrow. And he's got Miller. And he'll be knocked down sideways at the 47-yard line. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver, because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective. No gain on that run, and while the team is down, there's still time to come back and win the football game. If I'm the offensive coordinator, though, I've got to think about moving at a faster pace and maybe opening things up a little bit and throwing it a little bit more.
He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Let's go!
To throw on 3rd down. Morrow. A swing pass caught. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Uh-oh, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed, near the goal line, on a 2-point conversion, all that exit, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Here we go now. No, check.
Throwing on 1st down. Bender. He's going to go deep for Funchess. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. That's an experienced DB picking off a rookie, and you know sometimes those experienced DBs, they love going against the young pups, don't they?
And I go back to the offseason, had a quick conversation with him about, hey, when you play younger quarterbacks, what's it like for you? And he says it's like being a boxer. I give him a lot of different angles, a lot of different looks, and a lot of times I just bait the young guy.
And there he baited him right into the interception. A gain of 3, second down.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On third down, Morrow, completion left side to Miller. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of 1. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Seahawks with possession of the football, but they do trail here to begin quarter number 4. Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on fourth down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 30. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. And that one will pretty much erase any hopes of a fourth quarter comeback.
With emphasis, interception, return for touchdown. Door closed, locked, reinforced.
A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. As Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And some changes here as the D-line separates some. Throwing after the interception. Morrow. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick 6 makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or two.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, you know, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And in fact, we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you've got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Operating from the gun. Morrow. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
That would have been a great catch, but it was real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Looking to throw on second down. Morrow, and hauled in by the tight end Miller. And down he'll go at the 25. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. The Seahawks send out their punter. He's been terrific so far. And that's a 48-yard punt with a coverage holding him to 3 on the return. And the Dolphins' drive will start deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. The Dolphins' offense now ready to go back out onto the field. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football. But they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. It's a big play there for Miami. 46 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
No. Check. Patriot. Gone.
Off play action. Bender. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. It'll be a gain of 4, and it'll make it second down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ikey's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he learned to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
Now Marshall. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's
nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And he is all the way up past the 25. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Does the big boy have the juice? And he will score. Touchdown, Miami. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And out now come the Seahawks. And they weren't on the sidelines for long, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad you and I weren't down there. We could hear them. The coaches from all the way up here, they were adamant. You've got to hold on to the football or else we have no hope.
Yeah, it's easy for me to laugh sitting up here, but you're exactly right. If we were down there, that message would have been received a whole different way. Because turnovers, they've been a big problem for them. Got to take care of the football. Got to hold on to it.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
Back to throw. Morrow, and the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Looking to throw. Morrow, and it's complete. Henry. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Yeah, let's get sack lunch.
So the D-line's going to spread out.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
On first down, Morrow. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
So pin that one on the rookie right tackle.
Remember those days when the right side was simply the run-blocking side? Now you're dealing with some of the better pass rushers in the league. It'll make you a little jittery.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Morrow. Throw left side complete. It's Miller. And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard near the 42. Give him 6 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. The Seahawks send out their punter. Time for a break as he'll come on to kick this one away. This one all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages.
Well, I'd say that run's pretty emblematic of what we've seen all day long. No matter what they've done on offense, this offensive line has controlled the line of scrimmage, giving them time to throw it, run it, do whatever they wanted. That's why there are points up on the board. And right now, the psyche of the offense, we're in control, and we can do whatever we feel like doing out here on the field. Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Lions. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one goes for 24 yards.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say, you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
Well, right now, maybe. They're just looking at it from the fantasy perspective. More points for everyone if they win big. Well, they're slinging it. And then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. This drive, which was going so smoothly, all of a sudden it's a little bit of a roadblock here with two straight incompletions.
Yeah, apparently this defense has had enough. Apparently they're saying no more. We're making a stand right here, right now. But it is 3rd and 10. They've got to get after him one more time.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. That one looks like he'll throw here and give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Use that as ammo going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
To throw on second down. Morrow. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
Like so many tight ends nowadays, they have no problem at all putting him in the slot and letting him go to work. And that's a nice pitch and catch right there for a first down.
And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off at the 48. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. He's had his interception woes early in his rookie season, but sometimes that happens. There are great examples of guys in the past that have had those same struggles early.
You are so correct. And what the team and organization is hoping, we're going to see these woes now. But later, when we're helping him with his Hall of Fame speech, we'll remember his rookie year and how things began.
From the gun, Bender. And he takes it in for the score on the game's final play, so it doesn't affect the outcome, but a little whipped cream on top to their ending.
Or as our friends in Bayou Country would say, that's a little lagniappe, a little extra on top.
It's up and good, and they add one more to what will wind up a fairly lopsided victory. But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Dolphins, they continue to rack up the victories as this one moves them to 13-2 on the year. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Buffalo Bills. Meanwhile, for Seattle, they hit double digits in losses as they fall to 5-10. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter @EA Madden NFL. The Dolphins are winners.